Hey everyone, welcome back to the
Hey
Kit channel. We've got something cool for you here.
So we got a super fun one today. We picked up these old Sideshow figures. A customer sold them to us, and they're very outdated. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Well, they've got their charm. You know.
Very outdated, very old. They don't really fit in with a modern collection. I think that's fairly safe to say. So our goal for this video is to make these something that someone could display in a modern collection and not have them look out of place. That's the main goal. So my responsibilities for this project are sourcing all the parts that we need and making sure that they all kind of fit together. And you...
And me, I'm on blood and mud duty.
Blood and mud duty, that's it. Yeah, that's his job description, blood and mud duty.
So I was going to weather them and repaint them a bit and just weather them up and get them looking grimy and nasty. Looking forward to that. Yeah, man.
So that's pretty much it. So we can cut now to some of the stock footage that we filmed of these guys prior to any work, or prior to most of the work. There might have been a few minor things here and there. But yeah, let's go to that footage now.
Alright folks, now let's take a look at the two stock figures before anything has been done to them. So this is exactly how they come right out of the box. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. I've always liked these quite simple old school bases from Sideshow. Now the shoes, boots, leave a little bit to be desired, but we'll see what we can do about that. We're definitely going to be swapping out the trousers, pants, slacks, whatever you want to call them. So that's all going to change. Freddy's gloved hand actually has movable fingers, movable blades, which the newer version does not have, but they did give you, a few different versions. I think 2 hands, maybe 3 hands with the exclusive version. But check out the sweater on Freddy. This was always something that I just couldn't live with. That weird kind of triangle cut thing they did at the end of the sleeves and the end of the sweater and around the neck, and the inaccurate red and black rather than the accurate green and red. It's more like Dennis the Menace than Freddy Krueger. And the head sculpt. Not a bad sculpt. A bit of paint should be able to bring out the potential in that. So that's where I come in. I'll have to see what I can get done with the paint and the brush. And the hat. I'll see what I can do about that. It's a little bit tall at the top for the style of fedora he was wearing, especially in the first film. I mean, the box says A Nightmare on Elm Street. It doesn't say part 2, 3, it just says A Nightmare on Elm Street. So that would mean he should have the clean sleeves, just red sleeves, but the stripes on the torso section. So it's another little thing there. And then Jason. Now he is really going to transform, and I can't wait to see the results. You can see all the bullet holes. But all this is going to be changed. There's a pretty decent head sculpt there though, with a really scary looking eye. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with this. I'm going to be having fun weathering it, so Nick is changing the bodies and most of the clothing. Changing out all the parts, getting proportions better, better articulation, and then I'm the guy who's going to do all the weathering, the blood, just the nasty. That's what I love to do, folks. I love stuff like that, so just giving you a nice look at both these stock figures before anything gets done to them. Right, we got the stock Jason figure on the rotating base, so we'll take a look from the bottom to the top. So not the best boots. Quite an old figure, so I'll forgive you for that. Definitely going to be improving on the clothing. I'll still be using these hands. We've got a new belt. And all new parts really. Now this is some pretty decent bullet work in the front. That will be my department when I do the weathering. And then the mask. Get a look at this as it comes around. Nick has an idea for replacing the strap to hold the mask on the face, and it sounds like a really good idea, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. A really good looking mask though. So there you have it, folks, the stock Jason figure, before any tampering has been done. And now we'll take a look at this stock Freddy Krueger figure before anything is done to him. So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up to the top. I remember when I had this figure, I still have it actually, it's up in the loft, and I took apart these pants and removed some of the material and made them a bit tighter. But we're going to be changing all the clothing on Freddy, still be using these hands, but definitely getting rid of this sweater. It's pretty much terrible. And I'll see what I can do with the head sculpt. It's a good sculpt. I'm just going to go in and do a little bit more detail. Maybe repaint the hat. And there you go. So folks, that was just a nice quick little look at the stock figures. And now the fun begins.
Okay, so to start off with, we need to get these boots off of this body and put them on these feet. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the hairdryer out. Got my hairdryer, so I'm going to get them nice and soft, and hopefully the boots will come off. Alright, let's try this one now. Almost, I can feel it. What's going on in there? There we go. One boot. Hopefully they'll fit. Alright. Let's give it a go. Oh, they are. Classic. Classic. The foot's stuck in there. That's alright. We can get it out. There we go. Right. So, Mr. Foot is out of his shoe. There he is. Right, now I've got to get these on the new feet. So how about that one? That's his right foot. So okay, you guys don't want to watch me struggle with this, so I'm going to put a cut in here and we'll come back when they are on. And we are back. So as you can see, that was fine. After a lot of fiddling, a lot of hairdryer, a lot of tweezers, they are officially in and they're looking great. So that's one job done. Let's get on to the next one. So next job of the day, this is the new belt. This is the old belt. As you can see, this one is much nicer than this one. Just the overall like stitching and design, it's just much more realistic and accurate. So I need to get these bits off and get them onto this belt. I was originally planning on using this, but then I put a post up on a group called 1/6 Brit. I'll put a screenshot up now. Just saying, does anyone have one of these? And such a nice guy, a guy called Fed on that group, kindly replied to my message and said, yeah, I've got one, and just sent it to me. Like, so nice, so generous. So obviously we are selling this figure, so I just kind of wanted to address that and first say thanks to Fed for making this figure so much better than it was going to originally be. So anyway, sorry, like I was saying, I have modified this. It was very loose, so I did cut it down and restitch it, but thankfully we got this very nice one here. So we don't need this one anymore, but what I need to do is get these bits off. So I am gonna destroy this old one because I stitched it and super glued it, so I'm just gonna have to cut it. I mean, it's not very good, so I don't think it would. Oh, maybe I can salvage it. Yeah, I can salvage it, I'm sure. So we are done. The bits are off the belt and ready to put on the new one. There's a few little bits I'm going to do now. I think I'm going to paint the buckle silver. Every screenshot that I've seen, that it all looks silver, so I think I'm going to do that. And I'm probably going to paint these little bubbles silver too. I'm not 100% sure if that's totally screen accurate, but I think they'll look better silver, and then give them like a sort of black or brown wash. I think it will just make it look nicer. So I'm going to do that, and then I am going to put them on this belt and then see how that all looks together. So, okay, so my silver is pretty dead. I mean, have a look at that. It's not great. I mean, there it is. Maybe it'll just give them more of like a gunmetal look, because the silver is quite watery. See if it does. Maybe Dean has some silvers. Maybe Dean can do this. Dean, if you're watching this, maybe you can just do this, because I think you'll probably do a better job. My silver isn't great, to be honest. Okay, so while that paint is drying, I'm going to undo this here and get this on, and then just leave that to dry for a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright. So let's just... You can speed all this up, Dean. Do you know what? I am pretty happy with that. I'm going to give it a black wash, maybe a brown wash, maybe a bit of both. I've got the old brown. I've got the Nuln oil, the black one somewhere. So I'm going to let these dry, come back. So these are the trousers that we're using. I'm going to let Dean do most of the work. He's going to be responsible for weathering and making it look good. But what I am going to do for now is I am going to cut out the hem around here, around the ankles, because in the film it looks very frayed and torn. So I'm going to cut that stitching out, so you'll get that frayed edge, and it'll make them just a bit longer too, because he's a tall boy. So we need them as long as possible. So I'm going to do that now. And what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably iron them. Once I've done that, I'll probably iron the edges, because obviously that crease will be in there. So I'll probably just give them an iron just to get it nice and flat. Okay folks, we are pretty much done on that. I'm going to go iron them now to get them to be flat and to get rid of that crease. So as you guys can see, the belt is now finished. This will go on to Dean to weather, same with the rest of the figure. But one thing I do want to add before it goes to Dean is one thing I've noticed when I'm trying to look for screenshots and other figures like the NECA figure, just trying to get reference. I've noticed he's got these little tassels hanging off some of these blades. So I'm going to make some of those. I've done this before. I did it for my Ace Toys Green Ranger, his sword. I made a little tassel for that. So I'm going to give this a go. My original plan was to use feathers, but that didn't really play out like I was hoping. So I've abandoned that. So I'm going to try this route. Just get a bunch of this. I'll probably do. So it doesn't need to be huge. This is all kind of trial and error. I have done it before, but slightly different. So hopefully this works. We don't have any yellow thread, so I'm going to have to get some more. Okay. So now you have that. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm going to do a yellow one and probably a white one too. I think there's a red, a yellow and a white. So the plan with this now, let's grab the belt back because we want to get like the right height. So what we want to do So it's the following day. I finished off all the tassels. Last night I just did the red one. I've done the other two today. So that's how those are looking. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. So today the plan is these guys. So Jason, I've already taken his head off. I did this a while ago. So what I need to do is I need to get his head off, much like this guy, and I need to get the Dremel out and get rid of all that stuff in there so I can get one of these in. That's the plan. Need to do that on both of them. Need to get the hands off too. So Freddy's going to be tricky because his hand, as you can see here, part of the hand sculpt is the wrist. You can see it kind of goes flat there. So yeah, so I'm probably going to have to Dremel this bit off and then maybe drill a hole in it to put the wrist peg in. I don't know, we might not even use this hand. Maybe we'll try and fashion something else. Either way, I'm going to try. And then this guy, I need to get these hands off him and I need to get them on the new body. So that's what I'm going to do today. There we go. Perfect. I thought it broke them, but it didn't. That's perfectly fine. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. I just thought I'd just say as well, I'm not going to show you doing things with Freddy too. Like I've already done Freddy's boots, just because it's the same thing that you've already seen with Jason. So I'm just going to, like for my part, I'm just going to show you doing the one process because it's the same on both figures. So there we go. There are the hands. So next I'm going to move on to the heads. Yeah, right. So I'm going to start with breaking this guy's head off. Because it's not like a Hot Toys connection, as you will see. So you kind of just have to give it some force, unfortunately. So there we go. So that you can see, it's really not like a Hot Toys connection at all. So you kind of have to get this out, which is the tricky part. So on Jason, I've kind of have done a bit more. I've got the rotary tool. So what I'm going to try first, I'm going to try and heat it up. See if I can maybe wedge it out. We'll be back, folks. I'm going to try and wrestle with this for a little bit, see how it goes. And we are back. So the rotary tool didn't really work. What I actually ended up doing was I used the hairdryer. So I just heated it up and I used some pliers to just wedge it out. Freddy was super easy. I think because it was intact, I think that gave me more purchase. I think because Jason, I'd ground it down so much, I think that was making it harder to pry out. So either way, that's done. So now with the neck connections, I'm not 100% sure the best way to do this because they don't have rings like the Hot Toys ones do, and Freddy's fairly tight anyway. Well, not tight, but it's the gap between, you know, the edge of here and here is very small. So I don't know if one of those rings would really help anyway. So I'm either thinking super glue, but then I'm thinking that might break quite easily. So I do also have this 2-part plumber's epoxy. So I'm thinking maybe if I just put a load of this around here and in that little gap and then just shove it in, that should hold. So I think I'm going to try that and we'll see how it goes. So I don't think I want to do too much, but the work time on this is like 5 minutes, so you have to be quite quick. So I think that's probably good. This might be a terrible idea. It's quite difficult to work with. So that's maybe... There's a lot of overflow there. Maybe try that. So I thought I could use super glue, but I think that will break quite easily. I think this is going to be a bit more solid, because you might want to take the head sculpt on and off, and you don't really want the neck connection coming out all the time. Right, I'm just going to leave him standing like that. Okay guys, so as you can see, the neck connectors are on both the heads now, so that's all good. Now the very last thing I need to do is the mask. So the elastic, let me zoom into it, has it just, yeah, it's just come off, hasn't it? Of course it has. So the elastic is just ruined and it doesn't look very good anyway, and also these big silver bits are way too big. It should be way more flush. We'll put a screenshot up now so you can see how it should kind of look. So we're getting rid of all of that, and what I've got to do that, so I've got this flat leather cord that I'm gonna use, and for the metal bit I've just got some pins. I'm just gonna put some pins through it and then cut off the actual pin bit, and then you're just left with the head and we should be good to go. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on. There we go. So, and I just need to snip the actual pin bit off. There we go. So, that will just go over there like that. Okay, we're going to leave that to set for a little while and then we'll come back. Lovely. Alright, let's get some glue on that. And there we go. I just need to do the strap over the top. But already that looks so much better. So again, let's just leave that to dry. Thankfully this adheres really well, so it doesn't feel like it's going to come off, so that's good. So I am going to stop there. I'm going to finish this up off camera and I'm going to pass it over to Dean. So take it away, Dean.
You record. You do bad things. Some painting to do. Do it on camera so they can see how you paint. What we're trying to do now is match the skin tone of Freddy Krueger's head. Trying to match that. Match it up. Need this. What is this? Sand. going to be using some sand action. That's all dried up, so I've got to try and get some sand out of here. If I can just, there we go, there we go. It's not too bad. We can work with that. Add a little bit of red to this, and we'll have ourselves the starting blocks. Here we go. Just a pinch. Oh, that's a bit much. That might be a bit much. No, that's not too. Oh, that is a bit much. Yeah, that's all right. We're just going to add some more sand now. Actually, that tone might not be too bad for his more red bits, but it's more the not so burnt areas that I want to do the paint work on now. So I'll get a bit more sand. There we go. Pop it in there. There we go. It's not too bad actually. That's not too bad. Let's see. Yep, I think I can get away with that. Move Freddy's hat out of the way. Move that out of the way. Give yourself space to work, people. Let's start painting. Can you see? Oh, I'm gonna move that a little bit. It's very watery. So this is one of those processes where it's going to take maybe a couple of coats. I don't know if you want commentary while I'm doing this, or whether I'm just putting music over the top of it, but yeah, I'm just painting basically. I do a bit of painting, then I get a bit more paint on my brush, and then I continue painting basically until it's done. Sometimes I'll stop for a cup of tea and a cigarette. That's starting to dry up now. Get a little bit of water on that. Num, 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 num. Whack it on there. Let's get a nice big brush like this for weathering. It's already watered down. It's just like a brown wash. Plap it on there. You know, just plap it on. A bit in the underarm as well. Don't forget, back of the legs, underarms. There we go. Just weathering really. Takes a while. Takes a while, but it's worth it. The overall effect, horror figures, you know, we see a bit of action. It should be suitably nasty. Robert England. I think he's done with the whole Freddy thing. Freddy, but who else could do it? I mean, someone else could come along if they cast the right person. You can get Freddy, you know, bring him back strong. Oh, I don't know. I think a lot of people could have fun with that. Maybe if Terrifier 2 does well enough, old David Howard Thornton could be a good Freddy, eh? What do you reckon about that? I'll go ahead and call it right now. I think he could be a good Freddy. Yeah, he's looking pretty weathered now, to be fair. I'll do a little bit on the knees. Always good to have a little bit of weathering on the knees and that. Get it on there. I'm sure at some point he's had a little kneel down, chasing after the old kiddies. Lurking about. Get some down here, around where the pants end. Get down there. You look quite nice, don't you, Freddy? Yeah, I do, bitch. That don't make sense. La 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 la. See, I don't usually hold the paintbrush like this, but if I hold it like that, you can't see what I'm doing. So I got to paint like this. Yeah. It's still not matching up very well. So I'm gonna add a bit more red, a bit more brown, mix it all together, turn it upside down. Yeah, that rhymes. You should be a hip hop artist. My name's Steve Knight and I am the best. If you don't believe me, put me to the test. I got a big... Oh, that is nice actually. It's not the right colour, but it is adding like a little bit of extra detail here. Another layer. That's quite nice. Can you see? Yes, you can. Good. Doing night 333 malarkey. Wouldn't still be doing that if I thought it was mediocre. Just between you and me. Don't tell anyone I said this. But I think my channel is actually not too bad. Like, if you're into collecting 1/6 scale figures, I reckon you could do worse. You could do worse. So bear that in mind. Next time you're having one of your little polls or debates about who's top daddy, you can play the harp, xylophone. I might put a bit of gloss on there. Yeah, I think I will. It will seal the deal if I had a bit of gloss. Where's my gloss? Here's my gloss. That one's a bit. I'm gonna go with this one. Give me some of that sweet, sweet gloss. Let me get it up all in your wounds. Some of that wound action. Just doing a tiny bit of weathering around the edges of the mask, really. I don't want to weather the mask too much. I am going to be... I mean, when he rose from the grave at the beginning of the movie, it was peeing rain. It was absolutely pouring down. So, another thing I'm doing is sort of just doing a bit of a brown wash around all of these little holes, because the dirt and the rain gathers in those kind of places. That's looking good, man. It's looking right. While I'm here, I will continue weathering the shirts as well, and going over all of the stitching to conceal the stitching so that it's not so visible. You see? Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? Dun, 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 dun. More weathering. There's actually a fair bit of blood spray that I've done. Did that with a toothbrush, folks. Toothbrush and a bit of red paint, just flicking the bristles at the figure. Yeah, it's a toothbrush. Like, just, you can work it out. You're smart lads and girls, aren't you? So the bullet holes were done with a Dremel, and just dremeled each bullet hole through the shirt, through the padding underneath, and a little bit into his body as well. Nice deep bullet holes. And then the blood, obviously, that's just different shades of red paint. A little bit of varnish afterwards just to make the blood look wet, but suitably nasty, and you can see the kind of dripping of the blood from each hole as well. It's pretty gory. And you got some bullet hole action. Check that out. See all the weathering around all the little edges of every pocket and all that stuff. The weathering around the mask. Even the movie accurate scrapage on the red little section of the hockey mask there. Blood spray. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Some blood on the gloves. I love the spray action though. That's probably my favourite thing to do. Can't wait to get the Trick or Treat Studios Art the Clown. This dude, oh, should I say this dude? Whoa! Because he comes completely clean, and I'm really looking forward to doing a bloody version. But yeah, folks, there you go. There's bullet holes. That one right there. That's a nice bullet hole right there. Look at that spray action. That is nasty. Ooh. Nick wanted the darker, deep set looking eyes, so I painted some dark kind of just brown kind of around the eyes to give them a bit more sense of depth. And the sweaters is all all weathered up. A little bit of blood there from where this blade
these blade fingers would have been touching this part of his pants. So, but yeah, man, I'm really, really happy with how things have turned out. Nicely weathered, but not over the top. I mean, you could go all out, which, you know, I have done in the past with Freddy, but this is a nice amount. Machete, that's all been bloodied up and made all nasty. See it glistening in the light of all the blood and that. Yeah. So that's his weapon of choice. And yeah, I didn't do any more blood spray than I've already done on Jason because I don't want to go over the top. I mean, all the reference pictures I can find from Jason Lives, he's not that bloody in any of the bits I can see. So, I mean, I put a bit of blood on him just to give it my own little mark, my own little stamp. So you got some blood spray up here. Obviously, like I mentioned before, that was done with a toothbrush and paint. Just put some red paint on a toothbrush and just flick the bristles. No, you don't glob it with paint, just a little bit of watered down paint. Not too watered down though, because otherwise it will look more like pink. So maybe someone who buys this, it will be their first Jason, or maybe it will be one of many Jasons that they own. Nothing wrong with that. I've got a few Michael Myers myself, he's my boy. But yeah, I hope he goes to a good home. So we'll probably transition now back to Figure Pit HQ, leaving Night Vision HQ to wrap up the video. Over to you, Dean and Nick.
We've grown a table since we last. It's been probably a good couple of months since we filmed that intro.
Yeah.
We've grown a table. But we are back. The figures are finished. So we should maybe just briefly go into. So obviously they've seen what we've done, but we've replaced the bodies, we've replaced the outfits, done loads of little work here and there. Obviously Dean has weathered and painted various parts.
It was a lot of fun to do. It was fun weathering them.
Oh, it was great fun. Yeah, especially, you know, I had a lot of fun just figuring out, because I'd never replaced a body on these old Sideshow figures as well. I think maybe a lot of people probably haven't, because the way that the head is connected, it's not your average ball socket. So that was kind of fun to figure that out. So
well, my favourite thing you did was the little tassels.
The tassels, yeah, that was a nice touch. I think one of my favourite touches was the strapping on the mask with the pins, because that really just kind of came to me. I was struggling to think of what can I use to replicate that well. Not so much the leather core, but the metal rivets. So the pins. Well,
they're better in scale as well.
Yeah.
And the leather strapping looks really good. You can actually see the texture of the leather strap.
Oh yeah, totally. So yeah, obviously there was quite a few trials and tribulations along the way as well. I think I originally got a different body for Jason, but I realised that he's got a big old bonce. He's got a massive head, so he needed a much taller body. So there was a few trials and tribulations. Things like with the tassels, I originally tried feathers, because from the source material I saw it kind of looked like they were a bit feathery, but then I realised that's not the case. So yeah, so there was a lot of trial and error along the way. We found some really nice parts like the Freddy sweater on eBay.
Yeah. Pretty affordable as well.
Yeah, it was a decent price. I'm sure if you go on eBay you can probably find one of those.
Yeah.
Some of these parts were really quite difficult to source, particularly on Jason, like the belt, and there was so many great people in the community that really helped this project come together.
But trying to sort out a different hat for Freddy was a bit of
that was a nightmare. Yeah, we did try a couple. We found like a kind of fabric-y one, but it just really didn't work out. I
mean, like a stiff kind of felt material.
Yeah, I mean, this hat is a good hat, but the only issue with it is that it.
Bloody hell.
What's that? That is loud. I mean, that is loud. That is right there.
Was it like a military one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like a big military chopper.
Yeah.
Military chopper. Get to the chopper! Listen to me, we have to get out of here!
Yeah, Freddy's hat replacement didn't happen, so...
Yeah, so one of the main reasons that we wanted to replace it was because this one, taking it on and off damages the paintwork. I mean, that was the only real reason. I mean, it's a decent hat.
Yeah.
There's nothing really wrong with it. It was just the fact that it damages the paintwork, so we kind of wanted to try and find something that wouldn't do that. But, you know, is what it is.
It works. I mean, we assume whoever gets Freddy is going to leave the hat on for the most part.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I recommend you do it. It just looks better.
Yeah, I mean, at least this one has a top of his head just in case, unlike the more recent Sideshow one, which we know doesn't.
They forgot.
They forgot the top of the head. Bit crucial, but never mind. And another feature with this, Jason, unlike the more recent Sideshow one, is that you can take the mask off.
Yeah.
Again, you probably wouldn't want to, but you can.
He's got a good sculpt under there, though. Very good.
Oh, totally. I mean,
I love the mask. It's the right kind of width and shape. It's a really good mask. It's better than the Sideshow mask that I have on my more recent one.
Yeah, that one's really tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not right. It's not accurate, really.
But yeah, so here they are. Here are the finished figures.
We're proud of them, man. I mean,
I'm super proud of them.
They have a presence about them. They've got that personal touch, so they're unique. There'll never be another two that look exactly like these.
And I'm going to print out some little certificates, and we're going to sign them, just to say that these are ones that we've worked on. And I've got to admit, I was saying to Dean earlier, I want these. To be quite honest,
I want Jason.
I want both of them. Obviously, we're not going to do that. The whole point of this whole project was to let one of you lucky people out there own these. So we are going to be putting these for sale, regardless of how much we both want to own them.
They're for you guys out there. Some too lucky. Well, maybe one person will get both. Who knows?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, that would be sweet, wouldn't it?
That's down to you, really. But they are available. And a lot of love and care has gone into them.
Yeah, I mean, we
took our time as well. We didn't just rush to get it done.
Oh, absolutely.
Really, just thought about it and took the time it required to get everything looking right.
Yeah, and also, just like I said earlier, there was a lot of trial and error. Various different parts that I purchased, like different shirts, different padding for Jason, and Freddy was a lot easier, I must admit. But Jason, there was a bit more trial and error, particularly because of the height as well. There was just a lot more issues with him than there was with Freddy.
But he looks awesome now. The bullet holes.
They look amazing. I mean,
he's been through the ringer.
I don't want to toot our own horns.
Yeah, we did well.
But yeah, I mean,
did alright.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, man.
Love to hear from you. Love to let.
Right. Anyway, so they are for sale on the Figure Pit website at www.thefigurepit.com. They are, just one of each. That's it.
This is it. So I actually have another project coming up. That's for my personal collection. I'm not going to say what it is right now. I'll leave it to be a surprise. But it's very similar to this. It was an old Sideshow figure that I've kind of rehauled for my own collection. But we do hope to do more stuff like this. If we see more of these older figures come into the store, then hopefully we can do more of these projects.
Absolutely.
Because it was a lot of fun. And I mean, both of us really have been sort of kit bashers and customizers for our own collections for years now. So, I always love projects like this, and it was a lot of fun working on both of these guys.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, I hope you enjoyed watching how it all was done.
Yeah, we hope we've been informative as well. I mean, we wanted to show you guys a bit more of what we've done. So maybe if you guys own some of these older figures, perhaps you might be tempted to try something yourself. Who knows? But yeah,
they'll be available on the store, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll be back with more cool little projects like this in the future, I'm sure.
Drop a like if you did like it. Leave us a comment as well. Let us know what you think of these guys. Did we do a good job? What would you have done differently if you were in that situation? Just love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.